the Emo Hour. Your weekly power hour of all things emo and adjacent. With your hosts, Katie and Nani.
Hello and welcome to the Emo Hour. It's your hosts, Katie and Nani. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Nani. You're in Italy.
Italy. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, mi amore.
Yeah.
Um,
Ciao, mi
but
amore.
it's great to see you. I haven't
Ciao,
seen
bella.
you other than a couple like random photos, but you've been kind of, I mean, we've been texting a little bit every day, but there's a major time difference and we're doing very different things generally. Like I'm, working and stuff and you're celebrating. And then the times of day are very different as well. So
I know. We keep joking that it's maybe this is what should be making me emo this week, but I feel like our friends have totally gone like unhinged this weekend. And so it's just so funny because when I start drinking is when you guys are waking up, and when I go to sleep is when you guys start drinking. I think that's how that works. Something like that. Or when I wake up, you guys are still drinking, essentially. So it's like we're talking to each other when like one another is tipsy and or further along the spectrum of alcohol.
Well, that makes us sound like a bunch of drunks, for one. And I would say that that's not entirely fair to us.
Well, I mean, I'm in Italy, and so I can't say no to a spritz, and I can't say no to like a couple glasses of wine.
You're on vacation and celebrating, so it makes sense for you. For us at home, we have not been drinking as frequently as you have. But one of our friends, LB, is in Boise. Like, she's on vacation this weekend, too. So she's had a couple rowdy nights.
She's living it up. And it's been so fun for me because I'm waking up in the middle of the night or whatever, or first thing in the morning, and I'm seeing some of this stuff, and it's the funniest. So it gives me joy. And it makes me sad because I don't feel as connected to you guys. So when we first got on this call, well, I just was like trying to give you a virtual hug. Oh, I miss you guys.
Well, we miss you too. And I feel like that's a good transition maybe into what's making you emo this week, Nani.
Yeah. Well, the day that this recording comes out will be my birthday. And I am feeling, we've talked about it a little bit, but generally I get pretty emotional around my birthday because I don't know, like another year older, just feeling some sort of way in the sense that I love my birthday. I'm an only child. And so birthdays are very important to me, but also getting older is really hard because I don't feel, I guess, in harmony with like my age, in the sense that there are pieces of my life that I thought I would have figured out at this point. And those pieces aren't quite figured out yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just feels weird for me. So I definitely have a little bit of that going on still, where it's like, we've talked about on the podcast, like I want to find my person. There's just like, there's a few things that like I'd like to figure out for myself. And I know that it'll come in due time. But it is, I don't know, it's a reminder that life goes really quickly. And every year you get that knock saying, hey, you're about to turn another year older. And so here we are. And next year is going to be a big year for me. So it's kind of weird to be turning the age that I am. I can't even say it out loud. Did I tell you I lied about my age, by the way? For the first time in my life, I literally lied about my age. And I only lied by 1 year, which is it's even weirder.
Yeah, you did tell me that. Yeah. You made yourself 1 year younger on purpose.
If I was going to
lie. Not by
lie,
accident.
Yeah, no, if I was going to lie, like I should lie, like, I don't know, by like 5 years. It was so ridiculous. And as soon as I did it, I was like, why did you do that? It was so dumb. It's because I don't feel in harmony with my age, or I guess we could use the word congruent or something, but.
Well, I think a lot of people don't. I mean, I'm sorry that you're feeling that way, but I think it's very common what you're feeling. And I think a lot of people think that they would be in a different place where they
Yeah.
are, like no matter what place they're in, and they think they would have had something figured out and they haven't. So you're not alone in that feeling. I think that's just like the human experience.
For sure.
And there was something else I was going to say, but I hope you have a wonderful birthday. It feels like there's been so much build up to it because we've been talking about it for so fucking long. Excuse me, sorry.
The way you really feel.
Was that a little aggro?
No, not at all.
No,
But
but
the birthday celebrations aren't done, bitch.
they're not done. I know. So no, I think it's very common experience. I'm sorry that you're feeling that way. I hope that, the other thing I was going to say is you're probably feeling a little extra about it because that you're in Italy for a wedding. Like you're doing a lot of other things other than a wedding, but like that is the point of it. So
Yeah,
I think
like the
that's
reason
probably
that
hitting you harder too.
Yeah, I have no other reason to be in Italy other than one of our friends is getting married. And so, or I should say two of our friends, obviously, but it's just one of those things that like you get to see. And by the way, like what an amazing wedding. It was so beautiful and the love is just flowing. I cried so much during the ceremony. The vows were some of the most beautiful vows I've ever heard. Like it was it was truly such a magical. It was five days of events. We've been calling it the royal wedding, but 5 days of events in a row in Tuscany, and it's like truly. It sounds so bougie. It does when I say it like that, but it like the heart,
it is though. It is.
yeah,
bougie.
the heart and soul of this event is. I can't say enough about it. And they're so perfect for each other. And I love them so much. I'm just so happy for them. But yes, at the same time, I'm having my own internal experience of like, man, I see what they have and the life that they're going to live together. And then, of course, like we're humans and maybe I'm just a selfish human and I bring it back to myself. I'm like, well, what about me?
We always bring it back to ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, like you said, the human experience.
It is. It is.
Well, enough about me, although it is my birthday today.
It is.
But you got to tell me, what's making you emo this week?
Well, I'm switching it up a little bit because I think I can make this about it being important to do things for yourself. But I just told you I went to a yoga class this morning, which ended up just being me and the instructor, which was not what I expected at all. And I haven't gone to a yoga class in years. And I've always really liked yoga, even though I've never done it super consistently. Like, I think I just hold so much like tension in my body that yoga, I think like really helps me out just to, just like stretch and take that time. And like, I walked out of that class just being like, I need to do this more often. Like, it's something that I'm doing completely for myself. And, I don't do a lot of things only for myself. And I think a lot of people don't, right? So,
well, your mom
just
too.
was
Like you're rarely only taking care of yourself now. You've got multiple people to think about.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it was just me and the instructor. She was so nice. Like we chatted, and she was so complimentary about me. She was like, I can't believe that you haven't done yoga in years because like your flexibility and your strength, like you're doing such a great job. Like she's like, other students that I have in class can't even do what you're doing. And you haven't done this in years. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. Like, I don't think she was just like gassing me up to gas me up. Like, I think she was like, you need to do yoga. Like, you do well with it. She's like, I can see you like releasing this like stress and tension and your body is doing well. And like, this is good for you. You should do this is basically what she was telling me.
Yes.
And I was like, I do need to do this. I do need to do this more. So I'm going to start going more regularly. I need to like find a time, maybe hopefully every week that I can commit to it, especially now that it's like fall and getting into winter. Getting in kind of routine because summer's so like chaotic and I'm busy with other like sports and stuff in the summer. But this woman, she like, I told her I was playing soccer and softball this summer, and then she was like, she guessed what position I played in softball, and she said, "Were you a pitcher?" And I said, "In high school, I was." Like, how do you know that? And then she asked if I did gymnastics, and I was like, "Yeah, my mom owned a gymnastics studio when I was growing up." I was like, "How are you like so? How are you picking this up? You're so intuitive."
That's
So
wild. Is she also like a psychic?
maybe I asked her if she did physical therapy, and she said no. But I didn't ask her if she was a psychic.
Ask her if she does like spirit work.
But it was just so interesting, and it was really nice. Like, I walked out of it, my body felt better. Like, I did some stretching that I haven't done in forever, and just taking an hour to yourself. And I'm encouraging you to do something for yourself, whatever that may be, and the listeners, like, we live in such a crazy busy world that we don't take time for ourselves hardly ever. And that's something that we need to do.
I so agree with you. I love this. I love that you have a new fan in your yoga teacher, because it sounds like she's your fan.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're so right. We do need to be doing kind things to ourselves, whether that's like, I don't know, adding something to like your nightly routine, moisturizer, like something as simple as that.
It's a great example for you.
I know,
You
right?
don't moisturize.
I don't know what lotion is. I don't know how to use lotion. I
very
blame it on
complicated.
my upbringing.
I mean,
That sounds weird.
You grew
my
up in
upbringing,
humid.
very, very
areas.
humid. Yeah. So you never needed lotion, but yes, I do need lotion. Although my skin here has been amazing because it is humid here. It's lovely.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's a really good reminder that we need to be doing nice things for ourselves, no matter how small or big it is.
Yeah. Whether it's an hour yoga class a week, I've been trying to read at night instead of scrolling on my phone. Like, I think I'm just trying to do more things for myself now, which is nice. And I think we should all do
Mindfulness.
that.
Yeah. Well, and I've been reminded of that a little bit here in the sense that life just moves a little slower here. And the way of life here is different too. Like, they all siesta. Like, there's lunch, there's a break in the afternoon in which everything's closed, and it's just a completely different way of life over here. So it's slower, and I would say probably more mindful. So
Yeah.
and present. Like, we're
Right.
so not present, I would say, in the States. And also there's like 5 million things just waiting to distract us, i.e. TikTok. I still love TikTok though. I haven't opened it up once since being here.
Wow. That's great.
I've just been so busy. That's part of it too. Is like when you're so off schedule of doing things that give you joy, like what I would love to do and just like sit and rot and watch like a show on Netflix or whatever it may be. I need to do that. Although I did watch the finale of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I take that back. I watched that one show. Did you watch that show ever?
I haven't watched the whole new season. I've watched a little bit of the new season, but not much.
No, I won't spoil it for you. But all I'll say is that like the ending is a really great ending. Like they wrap that storyline up really beautifully, I thought.
Okay.
So I'm excited for you.
Interesting.
I actually watched it, like I had 15 minutes of it left, and I just was like laying in bed last night crying because it was such a cute ending. I'm like, oh my God, why am I crying at like a high schooler's show?
Well, it's sweet.
It's love. It's all love.
cheesy.
It's
It's
cheesy,
love.
sweet. It's all about amore.
Okay, well, let's get into it.
We should. We have a lot to talk about. It is our monthly update on all things emo, the emo news happenings for September 2025. Man, this year has gone by fast.
Absolutely has.
But
first, aren't we going to talk about Turnstile?
Well, yeah, I was just going to kind of lump it in because
okay.
I
Gotcha.
kind of gave like the hint that I went. So I was in Boston last week, and actually like even more than a week ago, I guess at this point, right? I don't know. What is time? It doesn't make any sense to me. But
we were in Boston a week ago because we recorded a week ago.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was your last day. Yeah.
Yeah. So So I went to Boston, was with friends, saw some shows, and last week's episode I recapped. Let's see, Youngblood, Garbage, and Sam Fender.
Yep.
And I didn't even talk about it, but I went to a Red Sox game too, which go Sox.
Oh yeah.
And it was so fun. I sat up on the Green Monster, loved that. But the last show that we went to was Turnstile out at Suffolk Downs. And it is an old racetrack outside of Boston, or it's technically in Boston, but it's just right. It's a little further out, and you can still go there, I guess, and gamble, but there's no live racing there. So like you can still go there if you want to gamble on horse racing, but you're not going to see it in front of you. It's just like video screens or whatever of people racing in other places.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Anyways, Bowery, which is a promoter, they do stuff all over, but predominantly they're in certain markets, New York and Boston being two of their big markets. They have the lease on land out there, and so they built out a new venue, like a temporary-ish new venue, and they have been booking concerts there all summer. And so I had the beautiful opportunity to go see Turnstile, and it was so well attended, but it was so crazy to see them in this element because you and I saw them together opening for Blink.
We did. Yeah.
Was that
2 years ago?
Was that the one in Denver that we saw?
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, because we missed. When we went to Salt Lake, we walked in right when Blink was starting,
That's
and
right.
Pierce the Veil opened for them on that show.
Exactly. Okay.
But yeah,
So
so it was 2 years ago in Denver.
Okay. And what I remember of that performance is that he had his hood up the whole time and we couldn't see his face. He was just pacing back and forth on stage. And you and I are both kind of like, okay, like this is cool, it's good, whatever, but like kind of taken back by it because neither of us were really like big fans. I don't want to put
Right.
words in your mouth, but I don't think either of us really knew all that much about
I
them.
still haven't listened to them a ton, to be honest with you. But that was also, and I feel like they're kind of in a different era right now, which you could maybe speak to that more. But it was like very more hardcore when we saw them.
Yeah, I would say so too. This newest record feels very different to me. And oh my God, I love it. And so what I saw was like a very, like, truly 180-degree, like night and day difference from what we experienced. We're talking disco balls. We're talking, they've been doing this color spectrum behind them. That's really beautiful too. And then it was so good. And then they didn't really talk throughout the entire show, which I appreciate. Kind of like when we went to go see Brand New together, how it was really more about the music than anything else. I feel like Jesse only spoke a few times, like addressed the crowd a few times. But there's something really special about seeing a hardcore-ish band. Because I say ish because I think they are hardcore, but this newer stuff has a lot more like melody and maybe like poppiness to it.
Yeah.
Which makes it more approachable for me personally. But
yeah, I think they're
the
just doing
hardcore
whatever
scene-
they want, which
Yeah.
I love.
It's awesome. There's also like really electronic dancey elements that happen too. So like the way the show was just so good. So they had a disco ball, which they only used for one song. I was very surprised about that, but boy, did it hit. It was really good. Oh, I forgot to finish my thought. So the hardcore scene in Boston runs deep, and I forget how special it is to be able to see that kind of music in that town with that group of people. It just felt, the energy there, it just felt so different than like, I think a Turnstile show in like Salt Lake City versus one in Boston, they're very different experiences. Or even say like Seattle or just different regions of the country. So I felt very fortunate to see it there. I also saw it with a bunch of friends, and it was my friend Finney's birthday. We actually celebrated her birthday that night with like a big group of people, which that just added, like, that was like the cherry on top for the whole evening. It was the best.
Yeah.
But it was outdoor, so this venue was outdoor. It was right in the flight path of Boston Logan, so you're like watching planes land while the band's playing. It's a pretty like magical space. You're just out in this big field, and the pit is just on fire. The only like drawback to the space, I would say, is that it's flat, and so the sight lines aren't like amazing, but like it is what it is. It was awesome. And the way that Turnstile like interacted with the crowd, like they didn't talk a lot with the crowd, but they were so interactive because there were people on their crew going around like in and around the crowd filming them, and their imagery was up on stage. So they had this huge LED screen behind them, and constantly you would see the crowd up on stage. So it was like the band and the crowd together. It was very cool the way they did it. They sounded amazing. His voice is just impeccable. And yeah, the whole thing felt like super punk rock. Like that's really the best way that I can explain it. And I can't remember if you were the one telling me this, but I think you said like Blink-182 took them out on tour. One of them is a really big fan of them because like
Tom is.
Yeah, like they just kind of have I don't know, like they've got great music, but they also kind of have like the lifestyle and everything to back it up.
Right. Like they're genuine. They're not like they're not trying to be famous. And I think they just love the music. And I kind of made that comment. They're just making whatever kind of music that they want. And it's going to change. And that's awesome. Yeah. And if I can interrupt, because they just did Tiny Desk too.
Oh, that's right.
NPR's Tiny Desk, which I watched. And they had like a jazz band with them. And it was like a little more funky and poppy. Yeah. And I was like, this is the same band that I saw 2 years ago at opening for Blink. Like, what? And they were just on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Like, they're having a big moment right now. Like, they're having a big moment.
I feel like them and Youngblood are. I feel like they're really, truly. To steal your words, having a moment. Like the stars are aligning for them. Yeah. So what else do I want to say about the show, though? Well, Mannequin Pussy opened up for them, and Mannequin Pussy, my friends told me that I was gonna think that they were great. They were freaking awesome.
Okay. Never listened to them.
Led by this just powerhouse of a woman. I don't know her actual name, but she is so good, and she kind of gave me like No Doubt vibes. Her outfit and everything, and she was saying all the she had a bunch of political stuff that she was saying on stage, and it just was very. I don't know, like uplifting and inclusive and really lovely. Like it just was awesome because I think sometimes political stuff can get a little wonky sometimes if it's not said the right way in certain groups of people. And I just really respected the way that she approached the stuff that she was talking about. So I was like, I am a fan of you guys. Not only did I like your music and your performance, but like just generally into it. They also made they had really good merch. They had like I almost bought the all rhinestone shirt, but I had to dial it back for myself. I was like, you do not need another rhinestone shirt. You're traveling, and you had like a trip to Italy with a bunch of outfits that you had to squeeze in a suitcase. So don't need to put more stuff in there. Truth. But yeah, I mean, the show was just so punk rock. Like at certain points of the show, the crowd was up on stage. They were like, I say kids, but like people our age were doing like backflips and stuff. Like they just were like a band of the people. They were one with the crowd, whether it was through the LED screen of being filmed or actual fans on stage, like mosh pits happening everywhere. It just felt like a true hardcore show back in the days where you just don't get that type of energy anymore, I feel like. And these guys were they're all about their fans, and I loved it. And they sounded amazing. The new music, which is the stuff that I'm familiar with, loved it. The only thing that sucked is they opened up with my favorite song. But like, what are you going to do? It's like, well, I'm glad that I was here for the first song at least. So,
why did that suck? Just because like there was no anticipation to hear it?
I was like, well, shit. Like this is my favorite song. It's happening right now, but that's okay.
Oh,
it's how they open the record too. So I understand that. And then you talked about the Tiny Desk thing, but yeah, we should probably just continue on and talk about more stuff. But it's a great tour, and I knew it was going to be really good because I'd seen a bunch of stuff online, and like when Haley Williams came out with them at the start of the tour, I think it was the start of the tour, at least in Nashville. There was so much video from friends that were there, and they were saying how amazing it was. So I had pretty high expectations, and it didn't disappoint.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I feel like we talked about, we've got a couple things to say about Blink-182 and Haley Williams. So since we just touched on those two, let's do it. So Blink-182 started their Missionary Impossible tour with Alkaline Trio at the end of August. So that's what they've been doing. Missionary Impossible too. What a great.
It never ceases to amaze me the names that they come up
Clever.
with.
Yeah,
They're
the
so
clever names that
clever.
they come up
Like
with.
there must be, maybe they are coming up with all this stuff on their own, but like I just don't understand. They never run out of ideas that are just so good and
Yeah.
funny and
Yeah, that's
ironic
true.
and all the things.
Right. So it's a pretty short tour though. They're closing up in October, and then they're going to be at when we were young fest, like at the very end of the tour. So it's almost done, but I'll just say, I love that they toured with Alkaline Trio, because the lead singer of Alkaline Trio is Matt Skiba, who had stepped in Tom's place when Tom was on his hiatus, dealing with aliens, whatever he was doing. And I think that it probably squashed a lot of rumors that they hate each other, that Tom and Matt hate each other, because there's definitely rumors out there, and I don't think that there was ever any basis for any of them. So I love that they went on tour together. I know that they brought Matt Skiba out a couple times to perform some of the songs that were like part of the Skiba era Blink, like Bored to
Yeah.
Death, I know, which is just cool to see, like the, original Blink trio. Well, I guess it's not original because it's Travis Barker, but the Blink trio that everybody knows.
Yeah.
And then bring Matt Skiba out to perform songs that Matt Skiba helped them write, and kept Blink alive for those two records.
Yeah, what I was
Not
gonna
just
say
one,
too,
two
like
records.
it's also like that's a lot of music that very likely could be some of people's favorite Blink records.
Yeah,
So like it's
exactly.
cool that it's cool that they're playing like that this is happening, because I'm sure there's some fans out there that are like, well, maybe I never thought this would even happen again. Like the flip side of it, right?
Well, and speaking of that, so some of the clips that I've seen, they're playing some of their old classics that they probably haven't played on tour for 20 years. Like,
Oh, really?
which I love to see that. And we didn't go to this tour. I didn't go to this tour. None of it was really that close to us either. But I was like, man, these people are so lucky to see these songs perform live that are like straight out of eighth grade for me,
Oh, yeah.
like that long ago, that Blink has had so many bangers and so many hits since then. Like, why would they, play those ones? But love to see that. And then Hayley Williams, you mentioned her. I just wanted to bring her up again because, we did a review of the 17 singles that had been released.
Mm-hmm.
And so go listen to that episode if you haven't. But since then, she's released a new single called Parachute. And there's going to be 2 others, I think, or 3 other songs that she is yet to release. And she's released like a track list for like, it's going to be an actual album, not just singles. But what a weird little cool little social experiment that she did by just like throwing all these singles out there and like letting fans kind of arrange them in the way that they wanted to arrange them. And I think she I think she enjoyed that and then landed on her own track list. So when does that come out? Comes out on November 7th.
November 7th.
Yeah, that's my daughter's birthday.
Ah.
So we'll have a couple more singles. Her new single, Parachute, that she released after we did our episode is also great. Go listen to that. And it'll be cool to hear the other 2 that are to be released. And it's coming out on Post Atlantic, which is Hayley's own label. So that's cool.
I love it. I love it when people do things on their own or they take things into their own hands in the music industry, because it takes guts for sure to do it. It makes me happy. Well, we should probably talk about, what do we want to talk about next? Riot Fest? Riot Fest happened.
Riot Fest happened. That's more Blink-182 news, right?
I was going to say Blink-182 was there, Weezer, Jack White, Green Day, all sorts of stuff. Touche Amore was there too. I really like Touche Amore. It's my understanding, and I need to probably double check this, but my understanding is that there was some really wild guest, what do you want to call that? Like, yeah, just guest appearances of people that showed up there. Did you hear anything about, like, was there anything that popped up in your world for Riot Fest?
No, I can't really say I was that in tune with Riot Fest this year. We were kind of out when Riot Fest was happening. We were celebrating my husband's birthday, so we were kind of, in our own little worlds.
That's totally fair. Yeah, my understanding is that John Stamos came out at one point. Which,
Oh, that sounds kind of familiar. Yeah.
yeah, and so I hold on, I have to find this because I need to make sure that I read this properly. Yeah, Jack White joined Idols on stage, which was cool.
So Stamos apparently performed with the Beach Boys at Riot Fest, and he
That is
apparently
such
is
a
like
weird band to have on that lineup.
It is. He's apparently been he's toured with the Beach Boys before,
Oh yeah, no, John Stamos was a touring member of the Beach Boys.
which I had no idea.
Oh yeah, no, I saw him at Coney Island years ago with the Beach Boys, and I was weirded out big time. I had no idea that this was happening until I physically
Yeah.
got there and saw it, and I was like, wait, this is actually a thing. The dude from Full House,
The dude from Uncle Jesse?
Uncle Jesse. Yeah,
Uncle Jesse. But I guess it's like a thing. This whole John Stamos at Riot Fest is a thing. They've been wanting him to perform there for years. This People article says that there's 12 years of Riot Fest wooing John Stamos with a look-alike contest, trying to get John Stamos to play. And the way that they did it was they booked Beach Boys. And because Stamos is a touring musician with Beach Boys, I guess that's how.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
Yeah. Interesting. I had no idea that this was such a thing.
Yeah, well,
Oh, it goes back to 2013. There was Twitter back then, it's X now, but Riot Fest posted, I'm a little disappointed that John Stamos hasn't gotten back to us about the Jesse and the Rippers reunion show at Riot Fest, because I guess he had his own band called Jesse and the Rippers.
okay.
So I guess it kind of became like a running joke, but so they tweeted that, and then they had a Butter Stamos statue. They had an art show dedicated to one of his albums. I think it's been a
Wait.
thing.
This is all coming back to me now. The more you talk about it, the more that I feel like I've seen like blips of this.
I didn't
That
know
is
any of
hilarious.
this.
The butter statue is what got me.
There's a pizza named after him called the Stamos Supreme. That's a Giordano's pizza, which is like a Chicago staple for deep dish pizza.
Uh-huh.
This is fully a thing. I had no idea.
How much
And
joy does it give
apparently,
you?
the festival on Facebook, after he got on stage, they posted, "We did it" in all caps.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, okay,
One
that's interesting
other
news.
big
I didn't know.
Right? That's amazing. The one of the other big things that happened at Riot Fest is that the Academy debuted a couple songs and they announced a new album. So a new album is coming from the Academy which it's been a long time for them. Did you listen to them when you were younger?
A little bit, yeah, not a ton, but a little bit.
Okay. And then I had put this on our list because at Riot Fest, Taylor Hanson came out and joined the Descendants too, which is also just the weirdest. Just weird combinations. This is what I was saying. There was a lot of guest appearances, and I just felt like there was a lot of, we'll call it social media viral worthy moments happening at Riot Fest that I kept seeing pop up. But like you, we were both very busy this weekend and weren't paying like totally close attention to it. But
Right. And
yeah,
when you say Taylor Hanson, you mean like Hanson Brothers?
as in Mbop.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Which,
Isn't
by
that
the way,
wild?
if you go read the lyrics to Bop, oh, maybe that's what I should make my emo lyric of the day. It's a very
Ooh.
emo song.
Is it?
You would never guess, but it's a very
No.
emo song. Well, yeah. Okay, Riot Fest. If you were there, let us know how it was because we missed it this year. But all this weird stuff that was going on makes me want to go so much more. And go watch a Cubs game. I'm a Cubs fan
Wait.
too.
Oh wait, I feel so silly. I got it backwards. Steven from the Descendants joined Hanson on stage. Hanson was the one that was booked at Riot Fest.
Okay. Weird that Hanson is still touring and like doing festivals.
You and me both, dog. That
Okay.
doesn't make any sense to me.
I just looked up the Bop lyrics. I was thinking about making this my emo lyric of the day. I'm just going to read you like the opening verse. You have so many relationships in this life. Only one or two will last. You go through all the pain and strife. Then you turn your back and they're gone so fast.
What?
That's the opening. Those are the opening lines to Bop.
They were like 12 years old when they were singing that song. Did they write that? I want to know if they wrote that.
I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, Bop. You listen to those lyrics and you're like, what? Okay, what else?
Okay.
New music? Or what were you going to talk about?
You want to talk about AFI? Speaking of new music?
New music. Yeah, AFI has released a music video. I don't know if you've watched the music video for Holy Visions.
I haven't.
Wait, I sent it to you.
You did, but I haven't watched it yet.
It is just so bizarre. I mean, we talked about before, Davey Havok has a whole new look, whole new sound. It's very... I don't know what's going on. Again, it's great. It's like Turnstile we were talking about. They're just making whatever music they want to make, and that's great. I appreciate that, but I'm like, what
totally. But the Davey
this?
thing still is shocking. It is because visually, it's two different people. Like it truly two different people, and the vocals too. Everything feels like two different people. I don't know. It's like he left that person in the past and decided to become a new person.
Yeah, which I mean, we can all do that, I guess, right?
I mean. We're all like everybody, we're all evolving.
We're all evolving. But watch Holy Visions. It's very like it reminds me of like a classic rock, like almost Queen type, Freddie Mercury type song. And there's a lot of like lights and there's a lot of just like weird, like ethereal stuff happening in the music video. Like I feel like you could be on drugs and be watching it and you'd have a great time. But it's just all very bizarre to me, knowing the AFI that we know. Like, it's all very bizarre. But their new record, that song, so Holy Visions is like the first single from the record. The record is called Silver Bleeds the Black Sun, comes out October 3rd. So we'll be giving that a listen for sure. But go watch Holy Visions and let us know what you think of that, because it's just a weird experience. I didn't have this on our list, but Motion City Soundtrack also released a new album on September 19th called The Same Old Wasted Wonderful World.
And they're going on tour, which it's going to be such a good tour.
Yeah. I haven't listened to it a ton, but I did hear a couple songs. I sent you and our friend Banks one of them because I was just like, I'm super into this. So that's another new... just so much new music coming out.
Another
so
new.
Oh, and the starting line. Wait, the starting line.
This is my thing though. Like, it's crazy to me that we have this much stuff to talk about. Like, this is tip of the iceberg, and there's so much stuff happening in this world. It gives me pure joy because truly, rock music is back.
It's so back. Yeah, we cut
all
down
types of rock.
We cut down on some of the lists that we were going to talk about just because there was too much to talk about. So we're just going to hit on some high points. But the Starting Line's new record came out September 26th. Like, what? Just what? A month.
I know. Also, they like their resurgence. The mention, like Taylor Swift mentioned them in one of her lyrics. Like they've been having a crazy. I mean, they were already big, but like the new era of, or like the new generation of fans for them, it's probably so cool to see at shows. I feel like the younger kids aren't quite as like maybe aggressive or aggro at shows as like we were when we were younger. I feel like going to concerts is a little bit more tame. I'm not sure why that is. So I'd be curious to see like what a Starting Line show looks like now, if it's the same sort of vibe that I remember from like 15 years ago, or if it's, I don't know, if it's just like a little bit more calm. Because I do think it changes with like your fans getting older, but then when your fans get older and you bring in a new generation, it has to be interesting.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. Well, we should go to one of those shows.
We should. We got to look it up.
Yeah, Seattle. I know that Seattle's happening. We can go see my buddy Matt. Okay, what else do you want to talk about?
I
can tell you about the weirdest collab if you're wanting me to.
Sure.
pop in. All American Rejects and Arby's are doing things now, which I feel like Arby's is really kind of on the up and up, trying to do some cool things. But I did not expect that I was going to see an ASMR video of All American Rejects slurping like a milkshake from Arby's, and like, you know how like ASMR, it's like this is going to be weird on the podcast too. But it's really weird.
It's when you talk really slowly and you make very gentle sounds.
And it's just really relaxing.
Yeah. And you can, I don't think your example before was that good. But you can make like, I don't know. I'm brushing the microphone. I don't know if you can hear that.
I can hear it. It sounds so nice.
It sounds like that, not like dee 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 dee.
What about this?
I wouldn't call that relaxing.
It turns out that we're not professional ASMRs.
This is pretty good, though.
I think you're really good at this.
Anyway, ASMR for Arby's.
Who knew that you were gonna be so good at that? Yeah. So that's the newest collab that Arby's has done. So yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I had to add it to the list immediately because I'm like, what in the hell? But you know what? All American Rejects are everywhere, doing all the things, trying everything out, and I appreciate it. Which also brings us to the next thing, which you should talk about.
Exactly. Well, we can talk about it together, but American Rejects started this, what would you call it? Company? Called Playhouse?
Yeah, I would call it like a
platform?
direct. Yeah, I would call it like a direct to consumer type of platform, but it's like a booking platform. So what they've been doing, the house parties that they've been doing themselves, they've noticed that like other bands and there's other bands that are trying to recreate what they did, but they're like, well, why? We should just create the infrastructure for this. So I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, so they created this thing called Playhouse, which is very much on the back of the house parties that they've been doing. And I mean, I think you explained it really well. But it's for bands can collaborate or sign up with Playhouse, and then they're doing other house party, like other bands are going to be doing other house parties. And the first band to collaborate is I was going to say our friends, but we don't know them. The Paradox, who we
do not
talked
know the Paradox,
about.
but we love to know the Paradox because they're killing the game right now.
They are. I mean, they just released their EP too. That's more new music this month. As their EP came out, NSFW, and they're the first ones on this Playhouse to do like house parties through this platform. So their first show, I think, was in Atlanta.
Yeah, it makes so much sense to me. Like they are the right band because I feel like they're kind of like, well, to me, they're new on the scene. So hopefully I'm not totally speaking out of turn here, but they're like newer on the scene.
They are.
They're doing really cool stuff. I feel like they have a lot of credibility behind them because they have a lot of people who are like in their corner saying like, this is like, these guys are going to be big. And then they're doing it right. Like they're keeping it punk rock by going and playing shows at people's, basements or backyards or warehouses or whatever spaces come to be through this Playhouse app, whatever you want to call it. It's software.
Platform.
Platform.
Is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a great first band choice, the Paradox, because they're up and coming, but they're like rising so quickly. Like they just released a single with Travis Barker. Like you can't get much bigger than that, honestly, in this world.
The Travis Barker sign off, that in itself is like that's a lot. That's a lot to me.
And then they did, let's just say, All American Rejects also released a new single because they have an album coming out. I think it's not coming out until January, but they've been like releasing a lot of singles.
Yeah.
They released a new single music video called Search Party, which was I think it premiered on MTV, which hasn't happened in a long time that a music video premieres on MTV. Mm-hmm. And there's a TikTok that Tyson Ritter posted that was like, hey, do you remember when music television used to be music television? Well, we brought it back. We brought house parties back. We brought music television back. And it's true, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that they changed MTV. I think it's still going to be ridiculousness on like 24/7, which is what I feel like MTV is now, is just that show with Rob
Yeah.
Dyrdek. But it premiered on MTV, which like they're bringing it back, man.
I love it. I love all of it. I was going to talk about When We Were Young for just a hot second because that's coming up next month. And we decided that we're not going to go, but it's happening in Vegas yet again. I wonder what year this is. This has to be close to 10 years for them because didn't it start back in like 16?
It wasn't annual though.
Oh, that's right. It started, they took a break and then they brought it back.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
That
this
was one
is
of our
only year
emo
3.
night trivia questions. I remember that.
Yeah.
But
I think
they
this is
announced
year
a bunch of
3 in
side.
Vegas.
Say again?
Sorry, I think this is year 3 in Vegas.
In Vegas. Yeah, so they announced a bunch of side shows. And so Taking Back Sunday, Story of the Year, The Story So Far, Emo Night, like a bunch of people are doing side shows. So if you are headed down to the desert of Nevada, that is, the desert of Nevada, for When We're Young, look at all the sideshows that are happening because there's a lot going on and they're like all over Vegas. That's kind of what I think is cool is the fact that they do the sideshows because it diversifies things and like you're not just going to a festival site every day. You like can go into different venues,
Right.
which I appreciate.
Well, and festivals aren't for everybody. Like the sideshows almost they sound more appealing to me.
I don't disagree with you. I also think that the Emo Night Brooklyn thing made me like pop into my brain. Emo Night Brooklyn is going on tour with MGK.
Oh, yeah, I knew that actually.
Or I shouldn't say Emo Night Brooklyn, but Emo Night's going out with MGK, which I think is interesting. Okay, sorry, I digress. What else is on your list of things you want to talk about?
We talked about emo this in the last emo news update, and I just want to talk about Jonas Brothers. They're still on their tour, still bringing in like guest stars, maybe every night. I don't know if it's every night or just a lot, but it's certainly a lot, and it's still a lot of emo people. So they brought on Machine Gun Kelly September 18th, and they performed Cliché together. And then they performed Sucker together. Machine Gun MGK played Sucker with Jonas Brothers. The Veronicas performed on September 22nd. Yeah. And Derek Whibley of Sum 41 came on stage and performed Fat Lip. And let's see, what date was that? That just happened in Seattle, I think. I don't know the date on that one. But Derek Whibley, Sum 41, like just ended their time as a band. So like that, they just did their final tour and Derek Whibley came on. Andrew, I don't know how to say this name, McMahon from Something Corporate and Jack's Mannequin.
Yeah, Andrew McMahon is how I pronounce it.
McMahon, that makes sense. Came on stage and performed Dark Blue with them, which if you're a Jack's Mannequin fan, Dark Blue, that's a moment. I would love to go see Something Corporate. And, that's Jack's Mannequin. I'd love to go see Andrew McMahon. Let's put it that way.
You love piano rock. I was on tour with them.
You say that. I love
piano rock.
I love Something Corporate and I love Jack's Mannequin. I don't know if I love other piano rock. Maybe I do.
It's weird to me because I spent all those tour dates on Warped Tour with them and I still never really converted into a fan. And I don't feel bad about that because it just was never like really my thing. I do think they're great, but like I don't know it like you know it.
Yeah, but Dark Blue, Jack's Mannequin in general, I think is something that we just don't hear. Like Andrew McMahon is kind of doing his own stuff and he'll play Something Corporate songs at his shows and he'll play Jack's Mannequin songs a little bit. But I think Jack's Mannequin is just kind of like not really a thing in terms of like live performances. So the fact that that's the song that he chose to sing, or that they decided on together. I'm sure it wasn't just his decision. When there's so many other like bigger hits that he could have performed from something corporate, I think that that's kind of, I don't know. I think it's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, and I saw that
Dark Blue is a bigger hit than I think it is. I mean, it
Yeah.
was one of the big ones for him.
It was definitely one of the bigger ones. And then I also remember seeing the All American Rejects. They're going back out with them for a little while. A little bit of a jaunt with the Joe Bros, which the Joe Bros really, they're emo at heart. Let's be real.
Oh, totally. So I just love that they're just continuing to bring out these like.
Do you know when that tour goes through?
I don't, but
because one other thing that I was going to talk about, and while you're looking that up, is that 303 with Simple Plan and Lolo, they were all on tour together, and they did their end of tour prank, which I thought was pretty epic. They dressed up as like road workers, like kind of like construction-y looking, but like road workers. I love tour pranks. I don't know if you're familiar with like the gift and the ritual that is tour pranks, but normally like the last day of tour, the opening bands will prank the headliner, or vice versa. The headliner will prank the opening bands, and they'll do something ridiculous, like show up on stage in like wigs and sing or whatever it may be. And so their tour, they like were in a fully encompassed tour prank, and I love it. I always am looking for them, and especially a band like 303, you know that they're going to be doing tour pranks.
Gotcha. There's still quite a bit of the Jonas Brothers tour happening up until November 14th. So
Oh, damn. They're out
we've
for a
got
while.
another 6 weeks. They're going to be in Denver next weekend, which is kind of strange because they were in Salt Lake not that long ago.
Interesting.
So Denver,
Background.
Indiana, Nebraska, Missouri, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Nashville, Oklahoma, Texas.
I'm hearing just a bunch
Florida.
of the Midwest. Sounds like a lot of Midwest coming up.
Yeah, but then they'll be in New York and Ohio and Pennsylvania and Connecticut.
Oh, damn.
So
Get it,
yeah,
Joe Bros.
a lot of tour dates still coming up in the next 6 weeks, and I'm curious to see what else they bring out, because that's such a big platform for stuff like that to be happening at Jonas Brothers, who's like generally just a pop band.
Yeah.
I love it, but I
love
think
it too.
that's kind of all I really wanted to talk about. There's definitely more news we could talk about.
Yeah. I think we're probably, I feel like we've hit our time here.
We should say My Chemical Romance announced some more tour dates for 2026. We should
That's
say
what I was
that.
going to say. So yeah, My Chemical Romance announced a 2026 tour, which I think is going to be really big. I talked to some friends who went to the 2025 tour, and our original kind of questioning of like, it seemed like it was pretty intense and there was a lot of things going on, and this like kind of in this own world that they've created for themselves. Sounds like live it was also that way, very much so, with like the yay nay signs and the kind of, there's like political things, there's just a lot of stuff going on. So I'll be curious to see if they keep the same exact tour as is and just add more dates, or if they're going to change it up, because I know that they got very theatrical with it. Actually, when I was at Fenway, what was really interesting at Fenway Park, sitting up from the we were up on the Green Monster. We had tickets in a couple different spots that we switched in between, and when we were up on the Green Monster, we were looking down in the field. I'm like, man, that is so weird. Like, the grass looks really bad for a MLB, like, grass. Like, you don't normally see it like that. I'm like, wonder what that is. Because the show that they started doing concerts at Fenway Park. And so I was like, I wonder what the last show was. Turns out it was My Chemical Romance. They had just been there. And their production and everything, just like, there's these big squares on the turf out, because it's all real grass. Yeah, it made me sad because that's how close I was to being able to go see the show, technically. But yeah, I am curious to see what this next phase of the tour is. If it's going to be the same exact thing, or if it's going to feel a little bit different.
Yeah, would you want to go? Like, I've never been the biggest MCR fan, but like, I'm intrigued by this tour. Go. Okay, because they're going to be in Denver next August.
Let's do it. Okay,
well, there you go.
We've got some. I've got some friends I can call on that one. Easy.
Are you gonna call them like this?
I'm gonna call them like this.
Say hello. Hello. I'm a famous ASMR podcaster now. People love it.
I did not see this going this way today.
Anyway, let's get into emo lyric of the day.
Yeah, let's do emo lyric of the day. Do you want to go first or you want me to?
I can go because I have it up. So I had to choose Jack's Mannequin Dark Blue because I was like, we need some piano rock on our playlist.
That fits.
Well, I guess you did
Katie?
do Constantine one time, so we
I
do have
did.
some piano rock.
Yeah, Katie loves piano rock, if you haven't heard.
It's my favorite thing in the entire world. No, but I do love something corporate in Jack's Mannequin. Well, and it's just nostalgic, right? I mean, I don't like listen to a lot of either of those bands right now, but 20 years ago I did. So anyway, Dark Blue by Jack's Mannequin. The lyric is, have you ever been alone in a crowded room when I'm here with you?
I mean, I know that song so well that I can hear it when you're singing it, but like what a sentiment.
Yeah.
It gives me a visual too. Can you say it one more time?
Have you ever been alone in a crowded room when I'm here with you?
Yeah, that sucks too, hearing that, because it's like,
Yeah.
do you feel alone when I'm with you?
Yeah.
That's
And
kind of
you're
what
with
I'm hearing
other
in that.
people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I felt like it was very
that's a good
emo.
one. That's a really good one. Well, I chose Turnstile, probably no surprise there.
Yeah.
And I chose their song I Care.
Okay.
And there was a lot of lyrics that I wanted to choose from this, and I didn't really know where I should land, but I landed with this one. It goes, I'm happy to sink into regret, if only to lose myself in it.
Oh. Can you read it one more time?
Yeah. I mean, I want to go longer with the lyrics, but I'm trying to be short and concise because I feel like that's where the winning lyric comes.
Okay. Well, let's read it again, and then let's take a pause, and then tell me what else you wanted to add.
Okay. I'm happy to sink into regret, if only to lose myself in it. And then it goes, all because you know I care, all because you know I'm there. But do you really want to fall apart? And do you really want to break my heart in two?
The shorter version's better.
I know, right? Look
But,
at
like,
this
what
restraint
is-
that I'm showing, this
What does
control.
that, yeah, I'm trying to think, like, what does that mean?
I'm
I'm happy to sink into regret just to lose myself, or even if I lose myself or something.
Yeah, so I'm happy to sink into regret, if only to lose myself in it. So to me, it's like he's making a choice about like being with somebody or doing something with someone, like maybe regretting it, but losing him, like the idea of losing yourself in that. That's kind of where my head goes. So it's more so about a relationship with another person.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
That's how I take it, at least. But that's probably
like it.
directly correlated to where I'm at in my life. Ah, it's my birthday. And because
October
of that,
now.
I win emo lyric of the day. I'm going to throw the only child card. I'm going to
it's your
throw the
birthday.
birthday card. I win.
Okay, that's totally fair. I'll give it to
Right?
you. But I'm happy to have both of these songs on our playlist.
Me too.
And by the way, if you haven't listened, the Emo Hour podcast playlist on Spotify, check it out. We've got some great stuff on there.
Do it.
And it keeps growing.
How
So
do you find
thanks
it, Katie?
search for the Emo Hour podcast playlist on Spotify. Or there's a link in our bio.
Yeah, click the link.
Okay.
in our bio.
There's a link in our bio. I didn't know where you were going with that, but I got it.
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
link in our bio on
Yeah, go
Instagram
listen.
at the Emo Hour. Follow us there. Follow us on TikTok. And tune in next week. And Nani's going to be a different age.
Oh, God. Way to rub it in.
And back
right.
in America, too.
In America. I know, I'm excited to get back. Excited to see you in person. All right. Well, happy hump day. Here is I Care by Turnstile. I love them. This was so good. This was the disco ball song, by the way.
This is not the same band we saw opening for Blink.
Not
I mean,
even
it
close
is.
to what we saw.
No.
Crazy. Oh, wait. This opening is a little longer than I remember. Let's just talk through it just for a second.
Yeah.
Your
but
hair
they
looks
were
beautiful, Katie.
It was so hardcore, man.
So hardcore.